explain. Phil Mattingly is here. Walk us through. I have to say, just looking at that, I get a little bit of a stomach ache because this whole situation, as somebody who hates math, scares me.
The visual itself is not helping us out.
This is the formula that they use to get to the list that they have and the tariffs that are happening.
And by the way, if you're watching and looking, you're not supposed to understand what this means. In fact, that's kind of part of the play here. But when we were looking at the chart and when we were actually looking at the numbers, like the 34% number is the actual tariff that the U.S. is putting on China, adding others on top of it, stacking it together. And how they got there, given the fact it didn't correlate with the actual tariffs we know China has on the U.S. or any other country has on the U.S., was a real question everybody's trying to figure out, particularly in the show, which is obviously a huge exporter to the United States because U.S. people buy Vietnamese goods. What does it actually mean? Trade between the U.S. and Vietnam is based on 2024 census data, which is the data that was utilized to come up with the calculation. Vietnam exports $136.6 billion in goods to the U.S. The U.S. exports $13.1 billion in goods to Vietnam. Now, how did they get to the 90%, which they cut in half to 46%? What they did is they subtracted the Vietnamese goods bought by the U.S., $136.6 billion, total U.S. goods bought by Vietnam, and ended up with $123.5 billion. Now, the way they actually got to the 90% number is they did 123.5 divided by 136.6, which equals 0.90 or 90%.
And then half of that.
And then because of the benevolence of President Trump, as he kind of laid it out, then they cut that in half.
Hello, good people. I am back. I am full. Ouch. I am nourished. Now, it's a lot of Jewish people in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. Jewish people got reparations because Hitler murdered them. Jewish and Polish people. He's a genius and this was his system. And he takes credit for it as if he didn't get the money from United States taxpayers. You got the money from us, Benjamin Netanyahu. You got the bulk of your money for the Iron Dome. It came from the American taxpayers. That's why I'm trying to do what I'm doing right now. Money for the people. And anybody in our government that does not want to give money for the people, they gotta go, because we know they are the corrupt ones. I don't care if they Democrat,